Hello one and all, how you all doing today? Ernie Rivera here, and I'm here to talk about my 365-day body transformation. Now here we are on day 19 of my transformation. So we're getting 3 weeks in, not too bad, not too shabby, and I'm not quitting anytime soon, so I think we're going for the whole 365 days. Now, why am I doing this? Well, I mean, growing up, you know, I was a smaller chap, you know, but once I hit puberty, I was reasonably athletic, and I got into a lot of combat sports, which I really enjoyed. And the problem is, a year and a half ago, I had an accident. I had a little bit of a back injury that kind of set me back, and it really put me out of commission for about a year and a half. So now that I'm done with that, and everything seems to be healed up nicely, I'm really trying to get back to where I was, and even more than that, I'm trying to surpass where I was before. And part of that is because that's kind of what I do. That's you know, I've always been really interested in learning combat sports, martial arts, and the like, and it's just what I enjoy. But there's some stuff we're going to get into in today's episode. It's going to be a little deep, so I just hope you hold with me, because we're going to really talk about this. You know, the problem with getting buff, or why you aren't getting buff. And real quick, before we hit that, I want to say this, that I did 80 push-ups today. I'm up to 300 for the past 2 days, and this is part of my push-up challenge, the 2,000 push-up challenge I'm doing for charity. And so we're going to keep on going until we hit 2,000, but I definitely found it a lot more challenging than I thought I would. So that's where we are with that. So here we go into the deeper episode. Now let me ask you this, right? Does this sound familiar? Have you ever heard the story of the person who won the lottery? You know, and before they won the lottery, they were you know, living paycheck to paycheck, and you know, all of a sudden they hit the lottery, and you know, they're well off, they're great, they're doing great, everything's awesome, they have all this wealth and, you know, a reasonable amount of power that comes with it. But what happens? You know, all of a sudden they start getting calls from their uncle, aunt, cousin, etc. Hey man, how you doing? I'm really glad, you know, that's really awesome that you won that thing. Oh, by the way, I'm having this problem, you know, maybe you could float me a couple of bucks. And so, and the problems don't stop, you know, when you have all of a sudden more wealth, you know, then all of a sudden you're going to get more people trying to get something from you, because they start seeing you differently. And it's not like you've built up over many years. In this particular scenario, we're talking about winning the lottery. So you went from nothing, where you were struggling, and all of a sudden you have a reasonable amount of power, and because of that, people start seeing you differently. They look at you differently. They start talking about you differently, and they the whole time they're trying to get something from you, right? And where am I going with this as far as it goes into health and fitness, right? So, you know, like I said, I wasn't always the biggest guy. You know, I hit a pretty big growth spurt. You know, I got into some lifting, and things changed. But let me put it this way, right? I've noticed, especially when I'm older, because I think when you're younger, you know, you like attention by any means necessary, and it's just a young person thing, and that's fine, you know. And you know, they have all the hormones going, so you know, they're trying to attract a partner, etc., and they'll use any tool they have at their disposal, and that's fine. I'm not judging anyone, but you know, now that I'm a little older, I'm starting to look at things a lot differently, right? And I noticed that, you know, I got really out of shape when I hurt my back, and separate from that, you know, there were some other things. Like I noticed, like for like a long period of my life, like I grew a big beard, you know, long hair and stuff, kind of covering up, because, you know, I guess on some level I didn't really want to be seen, you know. And that's the problem with putting on mass, putting on muscle, or just getting in shape, you know, that if you do it real quickly, especially if you weren't in shape before, because let's be honest, it's not rocket science. Are there harder parts? Yeah. Are there parts where you're going to need to read a few books in order to get some background? Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know, you do some push-ups, you do some pull-ups, you go for a run every now and again, and you do, you know, you eat properly. 95% of you, you're going to be fine. So, I mean, the reason you're not doing it, if you aren't, and then a lot of you are, but if you aren't doing it, it's because you probably said, you know what, it doesn't pertain to my job, what I do, and it's just not worth the time trade-off or the pain trade-off for me, and that's fine. But let's talk about this real quick. Let's say all of a sudden, you find yourself in really bad shape, and you start a commitment to get in really, really good shape, right? So you start eating right, maybe you start putting on some muscle, you trim down a little bit on the belly, and all of a sudden people are starting to look at you different, maybe they're starting to give you more attention, maybe they're starting to act nicer towards you, which is nice on some level, but at the same time, it's like, I'm not my face or my body any more than I am the clothes I wear. This is just all exterior, it's costume, at the end of the day, I do want attention, but I want attention for the thoughts I have, for the philosophies I convey, for who I am. That's what I really want attention for, and that's part of the problem. Because if all of a sudden you get all this, these swole muscles and you're looking huge, in a way, it's a lot of power. It's a lot of social power and social responsibility, and you have to be ready for it. Because if you're not, people will look at you different. They will treat you different. They will talk behind your back, all at the same time trying to get something from you. No different than winning the lottery, So, I mean, can you get really, really buff or really, really trim really, really quickly? 100%. And the reason why most people don't do it is because they're not ready for that attention. They're not ready for it. They see themselves a certain way in their mind, and they want to be perceived that way. And the trick is to getting really, really in shape really, really quick is, one, you have to have the image of yourself in your mind. Because if you don't, if you are the way you appear to be on the outside, if you are that way in your mind, then you'll stay that way. If you're a different way in your mind, then eventually you will become that way. But if you become that way really, really quickly, then you may get a lot of attention. It might not all be positive. It may be negative, and even the positive attention, again, is for something incredibly superficial and silly. And I know the irony of me posting this when I'm doing a 365-day transformation on YouTube. I get it. I get it. But I mean, part of that is to keep me motivated. Part of that is boredom. Part of it is a lot of things. But I'm not saying don't do it, but I'm saying that if you're going to do it, if you have it in your heart to become bigger, stronger, faster, whatever, for whatever reasons, then just be ready for it. Be psychologically and spiritually ready for it. Have a good support system, have a good support group. Be ready for the things that will come, because all of a sudden you will get noticed, and you may be on certain people's radar all of a sudden where you weren't on the radar before. So be ready for it, be mindful, and be ready for it. And that's just it. That's my message for you today. I hope you are having a good day. I hope that you take care of yourselves. I really do love you all. I may not know you all, but I do love you at the end of the day, and I hope you take care. Peace.